Hello and happy 2023. I'm Abby McHugh-Griffa, Executive Director of the Climate Solutions Accelerator, and I want to kick off this year by thanking everyone who made a donation in the end of 2022 to help us finish out the year with a bang. Those contributions are extremely important, extremely appreciated. So again, thank you. And on to this year. We have already, within the first 2 weeks of the year, added 2 new members to our staff. So Claire Henry is now our Director of Policy and Advocacy. That is very exciting because we've been wanting to do more in the policy realm for quite some time, and now we have the capacity to do so. And Sam Genovese is our new Director of Resource Mobilization, also known as Director of Development. But don't worry, for those of you who know Taryn Mullen, our previous Director of Development, she is still with us. She has just been promoted to Senior Director of Operations, which is extremely good news for me, because this is the first step for our organization in building an executive team, which is much needed. As our organization has grown, it is simply too much for one person to manage. So Taryn is now there to help me, and that is going to keep me sane. And so that is really, really good news for me starting out 2023. Coming up, there are in-person lobbying opportunities. It's been a long time with COVID since we've done much in-person lobbying, but on January 18th and January 24th, climate advocates from around New York State will be convening in Albany to support New York Renew's bill package and the Renewable Heat Now bill package. If you would like to participate in either of those, even if you have no lobbying experience whatsoever, doesn't matter, you can learn, and it's fun. So you can sign up, information's in the newsletter. We would love to have you be involved in that. On January 19th, there is a webinar via the AMPT campaign focused on modernizing the electrical grid. And I'm excited about this one because one of the most common misperceptions that we hear is that we can't possibly electrify our heating and our transportation because the grid can't handle it. And if we fail to upgrade the grid and modernize the grid, that would be true, right? But we have the opportunity to do both things in parallel. So they are not mutually exclusive. They need to happen together. And so we have Ann Reynolds from ACE New York, who's a real expert on this stuff, who will be talking to us about what is required to keep our grid in line with this transition. So please sign in for that, because really a lot of misinformation out there about this particular issue. And so to be educated about it and be able to respond to the concerns that people have is important. All right. I mentioned at the end of last year that the focus of our summit in April is going to be on regenerative economy. And so we're really thinking here about how we frame the climate issue in terms of the larger economy. And you may have heard climate activists talk about the just transition, right? But sometimes we fail to address, just transition to what? And so this regenerative economy idea for me really answers that question of what is the future that will sustain life? What is the economy? What would the economy look like to need to support life on this planet in a way that also meets human needs? And there's a lot to dig into here. So we're going to be kind of, throughout the year leading up to April, and of course after April as well, educating ourselves, providing opportunities to just start talking about these things, start getting more well-versed in this. We will have a book club in March, which we will be providing more information about coming up. But just to start to kind of whet your appetite for this, I'd invite you to think about it as the opposite of the extractive economy, right? Our current economy is really based on the exploitation of natural and human resources. It's not sustainable, to say the least. And so you could think of this, you could talk about it as a take, make, waste economy or a dig, burn, dump economy. And, I think, we can understand that the idea of infinite growth on a finite planet just doesn't make sense. So the current framing, how we think about the economy, we need to evolve. It's time for us to evolve. And again, becoming well-versed in being able to identify what the current challenges are and what the possibilities for the future is. That's where this conversation is going to be happening this year around regenerative economy. I invite you to start thinking about it, learning about it, and again, throughout the year, we'll be providing opportunities to support you in that learning. Also, just if you are thinking, New Year's resolutions, maybe looking to get more involved in climate activism, I would invite you to perhaps fill out the volunteer inquiry form on our website. Or if you live in the city of Rochester, the Color Rochester Green launch event is coming up soon, a couple weeks from now. Please participate, get involved. We're really excited. We have these Color Your Community Green teams elsewhere, a bunch of others that are in the works, but to have one in the city of Rochester has been a goal for a while. And so, kicking off 2023 with that exciting news as well. So thank you. Thank you for being here with us. We look forward to the year with you, and be well.